Okay, if you want to increase brand awareness and get more people knowing what you do, understanding your brand, knowing your story, then this is going to be a great interview for you. Jess Tiffany is the #1 international best-selling author of Growth Hacking: Strategically Grow Your Business Connections from 0 to 10K in 365 Days. He's a marketing strategist, CEO of MNU eLearning and MNU Digital, which is Minneapolis Digital Marketing Agency. And Jess coaches businesses to a higher revenue, lead generation strategies, joint venture creation, unique proposition, isolation, and implementations. He uses over 100 dynamic business strategies to cause massive growth in your company's sales. So thanks for being on with us today. We're excited.
Glad to be here.
All right.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm sure you have got a lot of tips. Do you want to jump right in and we can get started?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, so what is, brand awareness? First of all, how do you define brand awareness? What do you think are the most important things to focus on?
Basically, it's just the ability of people to recognize who you are, what you're, across all platforms if possible, creating a unified image so that when somebody sees your material, they kind of automatically just go, oh, that's, Jess's material, or, oh, that's, Coca-Cola, or whatever it is. But basically, it's the ability of the customer to recognize your company and what kind of things you offer.
Well, and I know that I was guilty in my early years of brand fragmentation, where my stuff looked different all the time, because I would create something and I go, oh, I like the look of that. And then I'd create something else. I like the look of that. And then you lay them all out side by side and you're like, who am I? And what's my message? So I think that is tricky for small business owners to be real consistent there. So when they're looking at how do I get started in creating better brand awareness, what are the first steps they should take?
Well, one of the things, we talk about, making things look alike and stuff, but really you need to go back a step and look at what sets you apart, what differentiates you. You need to, I kind of call it like a market dominating position, but basically what can set you apart? Like maybe you're the oil lease that has a, say a Dairy Queen right next to you, and you're the place that you get free ice cream cones when you bring your kids in to get the oil changed. Or, you find these little niches that you can capitalize on and utilize that to magnify your differences so that it sets you apart. So when people think of you, they have a clear picture of what they're getting and something hopefully that excites them.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that some of what you think are unique selling positions or differentiating factors are actually just expected. So yes. Customer service, for example, we have great customer service. I expect that because a unique selling position would not be I have subpar customer service, right? So you have to really think through and be very conscientious, because I hear and see a lot of people saying what they think are unique, and they're really just standard expectations these days.
Yeah, a lot of times, I guess I call them platitudes, but basically it's just, everybody says, oh, we've been around for 25 years and we've done this and that. And the thing is, if you go to the next website and they're saying the same thing, whether it's true or not, it doesn't always have to be true even, but if the same things on the website, then your differentiation is gone. And so you really have to look a lot deeper and find, things that are, a little bit outside of the box sometimes, but and it could be that you have a certain, if you're the owner, you become the brand and you that personality and you become the trusted advisor, and you get your face out there and get people familiar with you, tell great stories, how you started, things like that, and really set yourself apart by building those relationships long term. If you have $1 billion like Coke, you can, have your logo everywhere on the planet, but for most businesses, It's more about, you're going to have, you know, a unified look and feel, and then you need to have some sort of personality or something that draws people in, makes them want to do business with you. And so, you know, a lot of that gets down into marketing and maybe, you know, staying top of mind and having drip marketing campaigns where people are getting emails or newsletters on a regular basis so that they're keeping in touch with you. You know, being on, you know, Facebook and different places so they can see you constantly, have similar logos and branding and color schemes and things like that across the different social media platforms, and just really just get your face out there, get your message out there, and make sure it's unique and powerful.
Yeah, I want to ask a question here because I have a feeling we have over 1,000 people registered. We got 110 on live right now. I have a feeling that there are some business owners who struggle with the personal visibility, that they wish it could all be about the brand or all be about the product, and they don't love stepping into the limelight. Am I just like totally off base here, or is there anyone that can relate to that, that they want to be a business owner, they want to sell products, but they don't want to have to be doing selfies and on video, and they're not comfortable with that space? If any of you can relate to that, just type in "I can relate." And Jess, I'm curious, what do you say to the business owner who's like, I kind of want to just stay behind the scenes?
Well, it's tough if you're in that type of position. You know, if you're, you know, introverted and you don't like that sort of things, or, I do know people that are kind of in the security industry and they really just don't like social media in general. And so it does make it tougher. If you're not adverse to somebody in your company, perhaps there's a great person you can hire. Maybe there's, some sort of organization you can tap into. Obviously, you can hire people to be your spokesperson. If you can find a local influencer, local celebrity, or something that's willing to take on your brand, possibly for commission or for pay. There's ways you can tie other people into that. But I would say having somebody that people can look to definitely adds massive value. But if you can't do that, then at least make sure all the other components are good and in place, that you have good brand feel, that you're, the unified messaging, and make sure that you have, great social media presence that's continually getting your message in front of people. And obviously make sure you get your own database of emails, have some sort of lead page or capture page to get their information so you can stay in constant contact with that person. And so when they need that product or service, they don't have to go to Google. They just go, oh, I just need to call Jess.
Mm-hmm. I want to add on a little tip there because believe it or not, I lie on the introverted side of the spectrum. Not like all the way over, but like after this summit tomorrow, I will really just want to be alone. There's a lot of people time for me. And so for those of you who you don't, and I don't love the thought of going to the supermarket and someone being like, oh my gosh, it's Amy Walker, and I'm there with my kids. So unappealing to me. I don't want to get recognized in an airport. I don't love that part of business. But what I will tell you is I had to get over it and learn how to tell a good brand story. And that was just part of the pill that I had to swallow in being a successful entrepreneur, is learning, how do I want to engage? So for example, for me, one thing that really helps is batching out content. That if I'm going to create content, let me create it all in one day. So, because part of what is a problem is I don't want to plug in with people every single day. Yeah. But I can plug in one day, create a lot of content, and then have it released, and then just have a set time in my schedule where I go in and I respond to people's comments and engage. And so it's not this constant plugged in thing. But it's just like when people tell me, well, I'm just not a salesperson. I'm like, well, it's required. I'm not a cook, but I have kids, so I have to feed them anyway. If you're not loving the constant visibility, but you want to be a business owner, I still think you have to figure out a way to do it and make it work well for you. So, and hiring someone is great, and getting spokespeople is great. And at the same time, you can't abdicate that role of telling your brand story, because some of it just has to be driven by you as the entrepreneur and the business owner.
Yeah, my gut reaction was to say was going to say get over it, but
I know you're nicer than me.
Too. But Yeah, but yeah, and I like even just for efficiency, batching content is great. You can, I've been known to, bring, 4 or 5 shirts and just change, real quick and jump back into another thing.
Oh, you know
And
what I did? I bought it this year. I can't fit it over my cast though, so I'm not wearing it today. But I
okay,
bought a logo shirt and I wear it in all my videos. So I do because I
ah,
got sick of even having to change shirts. So yeah, I'm with
yeah,
you. Simplify.
there you go. Yeah, I almost had my branded mug and then I forgot it. So, but
So I know we're just about out of time here, and you've got
yep,
some more, couple more things that I know we want to get to. One of the questions that I have for you that I'm just dying to know is you have over 100 different strategies that you use. How do you recommend that people choose the right strategies for themselves? Because I know we even just had a comment in here like, I just don't even know where to get started because
sure.
there's so much to do. So how do you help them narrow in on what's the right strategy for their brand awareness?
Yeah, well, typically I have a conversation with them, and basically what I utilize is I have a software program basically that I kind of tie into. It's like a profit finder type deal, and basically we just go through and we type in different numbers and find areas that we can improve. And typically we can find $25 to $100,000 worth of hidden revenue streams that they just don't know or where for them. And then we kind of help them pinpoint which ones are going to have the biggest impact, and then we set a strategy based on that. So a lot of it's just basic stuff, obviously, cutting expenses. I mean, when's the last time you asked your garbage guy to cut, give you a deal or something, but finding little places like that is some quick stuff, but really, the overall, like if getting back to brand awareness, making sure you have the right tools and resources and do surveys and talk to your customers, figure out what their wants, desires, and needs are, because ultimately they're the ones you need to please. And if you just want a quick way to get some feedback, is just send out a survey or talk to a few people as they walk in your store or whatever type of business you have, and ask them, what things do you like, what don't you like, how can we improve, and that should give you a little bit of guidance on kind of where to kind of put some of your focus in solving their problems. Not
Awesome.
sure I got everything, but
No, that's great. And you know what? 15 minutes is super quick. So I'm sure that
yeah,
you have more to say. I'm sure that they have more questions. So let's tell everyone how they can
absolutely.
get connected with you.
All right. So you can go to mnudigital.com and just there you can go to LinkedIn. That's my #1 playground. That's what my bestseller is about. So if you go to LinkedIn, send me a note, mention the summit so I know to connect to you, and then we can just have a conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate